We're going to let her cook here. You see the caption. This clip actually kind of went viral a couple of weeks ago, but this got brought up again. Or I would have sworn I saw this clip last month or something like that. But it's making the video's making its rounds again. You see the caption, woman claims single mothers raise the worst kids, says statistically most inmates come from single mother homes. Well, it's not a claim, those are facts. But let's hear her talk real quick.
We are in a fucking crisis, a pandemic with this single mother and shit. But it is a proven fact that single mother households produce the worst product.
Facts. That's
it's
100%
a
fact. Yeah.
If you take 2-parent households, single father
I want you to look at this right here. Look at pay attention to these captions right here that come up.
household, single mother household, statistically based on facts,
Yep.
the household with the woman heading it by herself produces the worst product. And for our people, for black people, for African American people, those single mother households are the reason why prisons are filled with a good majority of our
are 100%
people,
right.
So these are facts. You sit this on the table. Here go the fact. And then you say, so y'all need to start valuing men being involved in the lives of your children. I can't make you be with your baby daddy, or we can't say that somebody has to stay with somebody, because we know that children are being born out of situations where the two people aren't healthy together.
Yeah.
But you having access to a man and a woman during your upbringing needs to be brought back.
I feel you.
I gotta laugh when I say this, because the females get so mad. We are in a fucking crisis.
So I want you to pay attention. They showed some captions there for you real quick. I'm gonna catch them real quick. I'm gonna catch them for you real quick.
This single mother and shit. But it is a proven fact that single mother house.
And if you think she's lying, just look at the black community. And on top of that, look at the men that they complain about. Those men were primarily raised from single mother households. I don't know why it's hard to bring home. I think another reason why is because, obviously the liberals are going to make excuses. And then on top of that, the conservatives, what they used to do, now a lot of them are learning their lessons now. What they would do is just automatically blame the man. Oh, he's a deadbeat. No. Now they're seeing why that is this single motherhood crisis that we have. Single mothers in today's age are single mothers by choice. They even brag about it. They even have their own website about it, but they still blame the men for not being there. While yet there are literally lawyers on YouTube literally advising moms, newly divorced moms or whatever, single mothers, to implement tactics to separate the father from their kids for more money. So both of them can get more money, the lawyer and the woman, right? So, when people keep talking about what's the problem, how do we fix this problem? Well, it's really the reason why we don't want to talk about the actual problem is because people be making excuses. We know what the problem is. We just don't want to hold the proper people accountable.
Produce the worst product.
Facts.
It's
That's
a
100%
fact.
fact. Yeah.
If you take
So you see that caption here, 72% of juvenile murderers and 60% of rapists came from single mother homes.
2-parent households, single father household, single
I got more stats to show you too on that end.
mother household. Statistically based
And 80%, yeah, it's like, and I know another one is like 80% of jail inmates came from single mother homes.
on facts.
Yep.
The household with the woman heading it by herself produces the worst product. And for our people, for black people, for African
The proportion of single parent households predicts the rate of violent crime and burglary. Now, another thing that you'll see the headings of these articles where they say single parent households, and that's a lie. They don't want to say, this is what I mean when people don't want to address the actual problem, because they know it's a single mom problem, because it's mostly, there's not a whole large sample size of single fathers, and they've showed that the sample size of single fathers, they produce successful kids at the same rate, if not better, than kids raised in 2-parent households. But it's such a small sample size that your only excuse to dismiss that is that it's such a small sample size. So we shouldn't even be talking about single fathers, really. This is a single mom problem. But what they like to put, they say it's a single parent household. No. It's a single mom problem.
American people, those single mother households are the reason why prisons are filled with a good majority.
The strongest predictors of whether a person will end up in prison is that they were raised by a single parent. You see what it's not single parent. It's single mother.
of our
You are
people,
100% right.
So these are facts. You sit this on the table.
I just hope you guys realize this because I see the articles now. They'll be like, oh, we have a single parent problem. No. Like in the old articles, they used to literally say single moms, but basically when they put single moms, they basically put all the responsibility on the absentee fathers. But now that they can't even really say it's an absentee father problem anymore, they just say it's a single parent problem. No. Oh my goodness, because we already know single parents are primarily single moms.
Here go the fact. And then you say, so y'all need to start valuing men being involved in the lives of your children. I can't make you be with your baby daddy, or we can't say that somebody has to stay with somebody, because we know that children are being born out of situations where the two people aren't healthy together.
Yeah. Okay, so in that point that she made, so we all know the stats. I've said this a million times. Everybody in the RP space has said this. In the black community, 80%, it's like over 80% of kids are born out of wedlock. Over 80%. Right, and at the same time, over 50% of the black men in the community are single and childless. I'm talking about both single and childless. That means we have a small percentage, because we're not going to count the married men, right? Just if we're just being practical, even though we know there's plenty of married men that have kids with their side chicks, right? So if you discount that 20%, because it's not a heavily married community, so it's really a small percentage of men, of the deadbeats that they say, that are procreating with most of the women in the community. Yet most men get the blame, which is ridiculous, right? Statistically, that's just ridiculous. Statistically, this is why they hate when we bring up these stats, because it's clear who's at fault when you bring up these stats. This is why they didn't like a guy like a Kevin Samuels, guys like that, because once he brought up these stats, which has been in the RP space for a while, but once he brought these facts mainstream, it really, like, I'm talking about men and women really had to be like, wow. I mean, you can't even argue with those stats. You can't even argue with it. It's clear. You can make a deductive reason off that, and just say you could be like, okay, we know who the problem is here. Because it's like most men in the community don't have kids. So, and it's not a heavily married community. So who is this small percentage of men that all of you guys are procreating with? You know what I mean? Now let's look at some of these comments before I get to the stats. And you already know what the comments are going to say. The conversation should be absent fathers create the worst households. No. Say mother get blamed for everything. Where are the blame for the men who refuse to be fathers? No. Like I said, I also say I've never been afraid to say it. Deadbeat fathers are a myth. I've kind of felt that for a while now. I didn't have the words to say it until I heard Jesse Lee Like, I said deadbeat fathers are a myth, and then I looked at like some of Jesse Lee Peterson's old stuff, and he said it first. I was like, oh, I didn't know he said that. I didn't know that Steve Crowder was saying grape culture was a myth. I didn't know. I didn't really watch those debates that he had with the college kids, But I came to those conclusions. Deadbeat fathers is a myth, and it shows because they literally showed something off of the CDC report where they show that black fathers are the most involved. They were rated like the best fathers in terms of involvement with their kids, in terms of being involved with their kids. And I always felt that, but I would always be like, you know what? Let me just take the women's word for it, because they're women and they can't possibly be lying about this, until you realize the actual situation. When you realize it'll be girls that be calling they'll call certain dudes deadbeats just because they don't pay child support. And I'm talking about they're raising their kid. I mean, they're fully involved with their kid, but because they don't pay child support, he's a deadbeat. I'm like, wait, whoa, how does that work? That's when you start asking these questions. You're like, oh, so if he doesn't pay child support, he's a deadbeat. Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, they called 50 Cent a deadbeat, and he was in his kid's life, and it's clear what happened in that situation. The baby mother poisoned that kid's mind. So much so, you see the way that man acts. This guy is a victim of what we call parental alienation, but simply put, this guy has been abused by his mother. But psychologists won't talk about that. Like the psychologists won't even cover that. This is a kid. He's been abused by his mom mentally. We talk about mental abuse and whatnot. He's a victim of that. Marquise Jackson. He sounds like his mom. Let me see. Jesus was raised by a single mother. I ain't trying to hear Nate. This is why most Christians do not read their Bible, dog. This is why I tell people don't even be a stepfather. Look what this woman just said. Jesus was raised by a single mother. No, he wasn't. He had a father. Not only that, technically, according to you guys, according to the Christians, he had God the Father as his ultimate father. And then he had the stepfather, Joseph. And he died early. But it's like he doesn't even exist. You see, this is why we tell dudes there's no point in being a stepfather. There is 0 point. Look what she just said here. And that just shows, too, in her mind, Joseph doesn't count. In her mind. Look at this. Let me see the replies. Hopefully somebody fixes what she says. See, you see this, because most of these so-called Christians, dog, they don't even read their Bible, dog. So nobody. I'm like, Mary was married to Joseph, dog. I'm like, what the? Oh my God. Just in her mind, Joseph doesn't exist. But I've been trying to tell dudes, stop trying to pick up the pieces, because in your mind, you don't exist until she needs help. Wow. That's why people be like, man, why are men leaving the church? Because it's bitches in the church that think exactly like that, dog. Talking about Mary was a single mother. What? So like I said, the stepfathers. Oh man, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. I like this comment right here. It says she's not saying it. She's repeating the actual statistics, data available to all of us. Like, you can literally look up these facts right now about single mother raised households. And do not be confused by the title when it says single parent households. They mean single mother households. Because if you read enough of these articles, you'll realize, single mother. Then people will actually start asking the right questions. Taking care of we get blamed for sticking around and taking care. No, she's just saying you guys make the worst parents. It's not about sticking around. Like, you guys make the worst parents if you do this shit by yourself. This is what happens. This is why people historically did not allow women to lead, because they hear this shit and they think with their emotions. She's not saying by sticking around, taking care of your kids, you're wrong. She's saying that you guys are the worst parents in terms of the parenting demographic. When it comes to single mothers, you guys raise the worst products. This is just statistically, those are facts. See, how about absent father households? No. Because before you talk about absent fathers, first of all, I always have to ask, did you have the kid out of wedlock? If you had the kid out of wedlock, then you already minus 1,000 with me. You already minus 1,000 with me. Now, if you did get married and you divorced that man, I want to see the custody arrangement. I want to see if you put that man on child support. Yeah, if you put the man on child support, that's already a minus $1 million on my end. That's already that you to sue the parent of your kid for fucking you. That's already you're there on bullshit. That means clearly your plan was never marriage. That means your plan was child support. Your plan was to just have a kid and double dip and use the child support as income for yourself. And this is how I know the child support is really baby mama support. Have you ever heard of a successful story about child support money where the kid was like, look, man, my mom saved up all the child support money and put it in a college fund for me so I can go to college? Have you ever heard of that? The child, they seem to never have, especially once they hit 18, the child support money's always gone. They have like no, or it's never a case of, my mom, she took the child support money, she put it in a IRA, and with compound interest and blah blah blah. I don't know the actual terms for it, so forgive me there. She put it in an investment fund or whatever, and then once I hit 18, I had all the no. And and then hoes will always make excuses, but she needs it for rent. No. That's where your job comes in. Get a job. They be talking about rent, gas, and what. I'm like, that's where your job comes in. And if you financially can't take care of the kid, give the custody to the father. Nope, you can't do that. Then I don't want to hear shit then. Then I definitely don't want to hear shit about absentee fathers. Let me see. 1987 study about juveniles. That means it's even worse now, dog. LOL. The title of her page is Black Women Supreme. Ay. But like I said, the reason why this space exists, I think what men need to understand is women will never take accountability. That's never going to happen. And it's not a matter of because they're evil. It's because women can literally live a good life, like I'm talking about fulfilled life, everything without taking personal accountability. Like a woman can literally go through life and not work a day of her life if she plays her cards right. Men don't have, I'm talking about even the most supremely gifted of talented men. They have to work. Every man has to work. They have to. I'm talking about even the most gifted. I'm talking about most athletic supreme. They still have to work out. They still have to work. They still have to run. Men have to work. End of discussion. Women don't even women can literally be in a position in their life where they don't have to work. They really, especially back in the day, they literally just. That's why I laugh when women talk about, unpaid domestic labor at the house. I'm like, bitch, you don't want to do no work, I guess. This bitch, you don't want to do no work. Anyway, let me see. Some black women are stupid, plain stupid. There are no two ways around a woman walking around not only believing this lie, but spreading it. Oh, yeah. It's not a lie. It's literally, the statistics are right there. Let me, hold on for a sec. School shooters, I remember this article. People talk about how do we stop these school shooters, and people don't even realize when you look at most of these school shooters, most of them were raised in single mom houses. Damn, I think all of them are. Literally all of them were raised in single mother households. Damn near all of them. All of them. People talk about these single white males that can't get laid. Bruh. Oy. Let's look at this right here. 63% of youth suicides, 70% of all teen pregnancies, 71% of all adolescent chemical substance abuse users. So most of your druggies, most of your weed addicts, your drunkies, single mother raised, 80% of all prison inmates, 90% of all homeless and runaway children came from single mother households. This is insane, dog. If you really look at this, this is from, I think this study was from the early 2000s. And if you look now at the studies, if you look now, it's worse now. I gotta look at this stat right here. All you gotta do is look up single mother statistics online, and you'll see everything you need to see. You'll see everything you need to see. Oh wow! So they said today 1 in 5 children under the age of 18 are being raised without a father. So they saying here, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, okay, let me, just to show you I'm not making this up. It says today 1 in 5 children under the age of 18, total of about 15.7 million are being raised without a father, according to U.S. Census Bureau. Out of 10 million single parent families with children under the age of 18, almost 80% were headed by single mothers. So when they talk about we have a single parent problem, no, it shows you right there, 80% of the single parent raised households are headed by single mothers. So when they talk about single parent problems, so basically 80% of the single parents are single mothers. So this is why all right, so let's look at this website. I haven't seen this. %45% receive food stamps. Yay. So most of them were never married, divorced, almost 30%, separated, 15%. So that's a small percentage. Widow 3%. So this is another thing too. People talk about, I don't know why people do this shit when I'm talking about single moms and whatnot. They be talking, what about if she's a widow? A widow is not a single mother. A widow is a widow. And even when you look at percentage wise of the single mother, it's 3%. And first of all, most of the widows are smart. They know they need a man, so they get married or they get with somebody. And on top of that, they have resources. They have the church that be helping them out, because a lot of those people in those situations, they're connected to a church and they have people that help them out. Like when we're talking about single mothers, we're not talking about widows, dog. And when you even look at percentage wise, statistically, it's not even something to even mention. Ooh. Man, single mothers are much more likely to be poor than married couples. Well, obviously, the official poverty rate for single mother families in 2021 was 31%, nearly 5 times more than the rate. Sheesh, that's crazy. Families headed by women of color fared even worse. More than 1 in 3 of black female-headed families lived in poverty. Hispanic 35%, white 25%, and Asian 19%. Basically 20%. Native American poverty rate is 42%. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, 42%. I mean, I don't know why people cannot make this connection. But like I said, single mothers are the problem. I don't know why people are afraid to say it. And not necessarily just being a single mother, but women that are actively playing games, meaning implementing child separating tactics from the father, putting him on child support, right? That, like, if you're putting your man on child support, for me, that's already an automatic, you want some bullshit. And don't give me all that, I need, bitch, you get a job. Women that are initiating divorces at an 80% clip, so you're literally choosing to become a single mother. And don't tell me it's because of cheating. I've literally showed you the women on here. They're divorcing good dudes for the most part. And then on top of that, when we talk about procreation purposes, let's keep it a buck. And I'm gonna sign off on this. It's either you were messing with a dude that you had no business messing with. I'm talking about one of those player dudes that be good with the mouthpiece, right? Or he's an entertainer, or he's a superstar athlete. One of those people, you know that you were not supposed to be messing with this dude sexually. You know. It's either you had that guy or you had a decent dude. He wasn't perfect, but he was a decent dude. But you just did not want to, his program was just too much for you. And you just like, I can't follow this program. I've outgrown him, or all this stupid shit that they be saying. It's either one of the two. Let's keep it a buck. People be acting like this shit is hard out here. No. And on top of that, women will literally brag about I think I've shown this video where they, those TikToks or these hoes dancing and whatnot. They were literally saying every woman has a man in their life that they know that will do anything for them. Literally, and they still have the results that they're having. I mean, when will the proper blame be put at the proper person?